Welcome to the beautiful day on Dia Bonito show. I am your host, Dorimar Bonilla, and it is my absolute pleasure to have with me today Ben Valdez of KB Foundation Repair. Welcome, Ben.
Thank you, Dora, for having me.
It's a pleasure having you here, and you have such an interesting life journey. Can you share some of that with our viewers?
Yes, ma'am, sure can. So my name is Ben Valdez. I'm, born in Bronzeville, Texas, raised here in Houston. Interesting journey on how we ventured out this way. Both of my parents are actually from Mexico. My mom is from Linares, Mexico, and my father's from Matamoros. And so when I was conceived in Mexico, they decided, let's go to Texas, right? And they were actually between Texas or California. They chose Texas. So right before I was born, my father decided to hide my mother in the back of his 1966 Chevy station wagon. True story. They crossed over the border. As soon as they make it into Bronzeville, there's probably a couple of blocks. I know I've been by there and I've seen the house. And just a few blocks away from the border there, they went, and that's where I was born at, with the maid wife.
And
there.
he had to hide your mom because he was legal, but she wasn't.
He was legal, she wasn't, correct. And so that's why he hid her in the back of the station wagon somehow or another. A pregnant woman in the back of a station wagon. Not sure how it happened.
Wow.
But
Can you imagine how that would go today?
And apparently I was, she was pretty big. I mean, heck, I was about to come out and I was a
Wow.
big baby.
And then you crossed the border, midwife, delivered the baby.
Yes, ma'am.
And there were you.
So there I was. Yep, I was born. We stayed there in Bronzeville for about a year, and then they decided, let's go to Houston and make a life. And that was another journey, because now they're in Bronzeville. Life is good. Everything is okay there. But when they started to come to Houston, Texas, there was a checkpoint there. At some point there on that main highway. Another checkpoint. One more before you actually leave. It's still there to this day. You just go through and say Mexican citizen. They check your car and you go on through. And but because again my mom's still working on her documentation wasn't ready, so they pull on the side of the road, wish each other luck, and my mom went into the woods. Me and my father, with me in the baby carriage, drove through the checkpoint. At some point pulls over, and my mom tells us a story of how she walked through the woods. Who knows how long she walked in there? I'm sure what might have been 5 minutes felt like 5 hours, right? But she walked through the woods alone, scared, young, and then she just remembers that at some point she felt to go ahead and exit the woods, and when she started walking outwardly, it's by the grace of God, miracle, right? My dad was right there. And so she jumps in and we come on over here, and this is where we're at. We moved to Houston. We resided in a place called Second Ward, which is a barrio, a neighborhood here in Houston, one of the oldest ones, and was there probably until when I was in the 5th grade. But predominantly, we've always been in the east end of Houston.
Wow, what an incredible story. And you personally have also had your own story, from struggles to growth to success.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me a little bit about your adolescent years.
So growing up, I would have to say that it was just like a typical, Latino home, hardworking father, got up and went to work every day. He was a diesel mechanic by trade. And then my mom took care of the kids. I was the oldest out of 5 siblings, or I am the oldest out of 5. And so just growing up in the neighborhood, playing with the kids, playing with my friends, life is good, everything's normal. But, Dory, at some point, I was introduced to drugs. When it happened, how, I don't remember who it was or when, but I just know at one point in my life, and I probably was in middle school, I think 13 or 14 years old. I remember going to house parties. One of the things is, as a kid, I used to just love to dance, and I always went to the dances, Spanish, English. I was always dancing, break dancing. I just love the culture of hip hop. And but at some point, somebody introduced me to a marijuana cigarette, and that was my first taste, I guess. I remember smoking it, being exposed to something, feeling something I've never experienced before, and then I thought, well, I guess it wasn't too bad. It didn't kill me. And so, the fear is gone of like, oh, I can't do drugs. so here I am exposed to this thing, and it's something that we just kind of did regularly.
Wow.
From time to time. And little did I know that it was really going to catch up to me down the line.
Down the line?
Yes, ma'am.
How did that catch up to you?
Well, like I said, it started just going to house parties again, just dancing, having fun. So I thought, it's just fun. And, you know, you drink a little bit of beer here, smoke a little bit of weed here. And now I told you where I was born at. So when we would travel back and forth, I noticed that my family, some of my cousins out there were dressing a little bit different. Heck, they were young and driving cars. And I'm like, hey, what do you guys got going on? Because we're not just playing around anymore. We're not just breakdancing anymore. There's something happening over here, and I like it.
You want it to be like that?
I like the cars. I like the jewelry, you know. And so anyways, what went from just house parties, alcohol, smoking a little dope here and there, you know, kind of took me into, at a very young age, opened the door, opened the world to me in drug dealing.
Even though you excelled at your sales job,
yes, ma'am,
you still continued to do whatever was comfortable for you to have easy money, sort of speak, coming your way.
That's it.
However, there was a point in your life where you had an aha moment. And what was that? What motivated you to turn things around for yourself?
As time went on, you know, by this time I had been in a relationship with a young lady for quite some time, and we had a daughter. And I just started questioning myself, like, how long am I going to keep doing this? You know, am I going to pick up my daughter from middle school one day, consumed or high on alcohol or drugs? Am I going to pick her up when she's in high school, high on drugs or alcohol? Like, at what point, basically, it's like, when am I going to stop this childlike party wildlife? When am I going to grow up? And because now I'm getting into 25 and 30. And so this desire, I think, from the inside to want to change, to want to be a better person, to want to be a better father, started to grow from within. So in 2006, my younger brother, was involved in this ministry, in a church. He was actually in a restoration program himself, and so the only way for me to see my younger brother was I have to go visit the church. I didn't want to do that. My mom would say, "Vente, vamos," and I was like, "No, I'm not going to go over there. Y'all go to that church. I'm not going anywhere. I don't want to go there. What for? I'll see him whenever he gets out." And it was I believe at the time was a 6 months program. Well, that's my little brother, and me and him were like real tight. So I went once. I went twice, and then on March 5th, 2006, I like to describe it as a power encounter. You know, I went in there, an adult. I believe I was 31 years old. So here I am, I'm an adult on the outside body, but just a broken little boy on the inside. And I went in there, and, you know, a broken man, addicted to alcohol, addicted to cocaine. I definitely told myself, I don't like that feeling. I don't like to get sick, so it's never going to happen. And that's kind of how that went. You know, I just made sure that I was never going to feel sick again. But on that day, something happened. Have this encounter. There goes March 5th. It's on a Sunday. Monday, I wake up. My hands ain't shaking. Went about my day. Tuesday, I wake up. 3 days. And it had been years since I've gone this long without consuming alcohol or drugs. 3 days later, I'm still not shaking. I feel great. And I thought, well, let me try a week. And I went a week. Well, let me try a month. This is kind of cool. This is new for me. And so here I am a month later, and so on and so forth. We're talking almost 15 plus years later.
Wow. Congratulations.
So thank you.
Congratulations.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
they do say you take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
When it comes to addiction. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
On being healed, on being better, because you've turned your life around.
Yes, ma'am.
And along those lines of having life changes, you also had a friend come up to you and present a new venture and a new job. What was that opportunity, and how did that change your life?
You know, so I went on this journey after that of trying to discover myself. Who am I? Okay, cool. This is good. Life is good now. So now what do I do? Is it just about living a sober life and I go to church on Sundays? What am I supposed to do now? So I felt great, but I just wanted to better myself. So I got into self-help books, different things like that. And one time when I was working with one of my brothers, I get a phone call and he says, hey, I need you to come over here to check out this position, this job. And I said, no, I don't have any experience. So he, a friend of mine from 1995 at this point is working at a foundation company. Okay, so I said, all right, well, I don't have any experience. I don't want to do no construction work. I'm fine. And so about 2 weeks later, he called again. Ben, I think you really have to come talk to these people. You've been in sales. You're great with people. You just need to come talk to him. I said, all right, fine. So Dory, it was kind of a fluke thing, how it happened. Because I go over there, I make the phone call, and you would think that the President of the United States is calling this office. When I make the phone call, they're like, oh, yes, sir, Mr. Valdez, thank you so much for calling. And everybody's excited to hear from me. And I'm thinking, what in the world did this guy tell these people about me? And so they're all excited to hear me. She says, the owner's out, but he's going to call you. A few hours later, the owner calls, and he's excited. Excitement level is through the roof, and I'm just beyond myself. I'm like, well, I don't know what's going to happen. This guy's happy to hear from me. So he starts asking me questions. What have you done? Where are you at now? And what have you done with the foundation? So I told him what I was doing, told him what I did in the past. I said, I'm sorry, sir, but as far as the foundation, I've never done that. And so apparently, Dory, what happened was he was reading somebody else's resume that had all this experience that he was looking for. Mine was the one behind it, and I said, that's not me, sir. I'm not Hernandez, I'm Valdez. And so long story short, I says, well, I'll tell you what, before you hang up on me and want to go and call the other guy that you're looking for, give me 30 minutes of your time. Let me go and speak to you face to face, and we'll see if I'm a fit. He allowed me to go. We spent 4 hours together in his office, talking, conversating, and at the end of the conversation, he says, man, I'm going to take a shot, and I'm going to take a chance with you. I'm going to make a lot of money or no money, but I'm going to give you the position. And that opened up and has led to where we're at today, actually the owner of a very successful and growing foundation company.
That led to KB Foundation?
Yes, ma'am.
And what would you say is the mission of the foundation or the organization?
The mission, I would say, the vision, the mission of the foundation is to be able to be a company that, number one, provides honest work, right? That could, because there's been so many jobs that we've gone behind that I see where people have gotten ripped off. And so that kind of is what me noticing different things like that is like I said, man, I know what it feels like to get taken advantage of. And so it kind of gave me that fire, that boost to just want to make a difference. I'm not going to win them all, but every person that we do work, I know what we're doing. We're doing quality work, honest work, and we're not ripping nobody off. You know, it's an honest living. And so the mission is, number one, to do a good quality job, to offer them a fair deal. You know, I think we're very, very reasonable in pricing, and probably the most important for me, I'm glad we do good work and all that, but the most important for me is our employees. There's fathers that are on my team. I have fathers who have children, you know, and so it is what it is. It's a hard construction job. The guys, I tell the folks, it's not for everybody. And so everybody except the girl in our office, everybody they're all males, right? Not every woman, you know, and I wouldn't want to have a woman out there digging a shovel. So they're all hardworking guys, and that's what my vision is that this company would be able to have a good, positive attitude, have a good, positive influence on somebody else. And so all my guys are great guys. They're hard workers. And I like the fact that we're able to, somebody wakes up in the morning and they're happy to come to work at KB. And then when they leave, you know, they're happy that they spent a good day. They're happy at the end of the week when they get a good paycheck. It's a good paycheck too. They get paid well. Good. And so I like that. I like that we are able to provide lives, you know, futures for these folks. And so fathers, you know, with their kids, their sons, etc.
And what are some of the services that the foundation provides?
So we specialize in house leveling / foundation repair. It's a foundation company, but we do houses that are on concrete slabs. Any structure, let me say that, any structure being residential or commercial that's built on a concrete slab, or some are built on what we call here in Houston pier and beam homes, houses on blocks. We go in there and we level them. The earth is moving, there's settling of the soil, so sometimes you get the houses that are shifting, cracking sheetrock, cracking floors, and so we go in there and we correct the issue.
And I have come to learn that you have reached over $500,000 annually in gross.
Yes,
congratulations.
Ma'am. Thank you for that.
What would you say contributes to the success of your company?
Number one, I think the honesty and the integrity, because we work really, really hard at having and establishing the reputation that we have. People always ask for referrals, and I said, yep, feel free, here, call them. And my customers tell me, hey, Ben, if you ever need a referral, give them my phone number. And they're happy to talk about me and the good job that we did. And so we work hard at that. We have, in Texas, there's something called the Better Business Bureau.
Yes.
And so we have a great standings with the Better Business Bureau.
Good.
We have not only been able to grow in the Houston metropolitan area, but we're also doing work in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and here lately, since January of 2021, we've been out a lot in San Antonio, Texas. Yeah, so our team is growing, the company is growing, and we're happy to be able to provide the services that the folks need.
And you're a role model for a lot of people out there. What would you say to those who want to start their own businesses? Good
question. If I were to be speaking to an entrepreneur that's looking to get into anything, and whatever that is, number one, don't quit so easily, because it's going to take a lot of hard work, it's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to take your dedication. The one word that comes to mind is commitment. If you're going to commit to it, and just go all the way through it. Because I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to quit, how many times I've wanted to throw in the towel. If I had a bad day, I want to quit, and I thank God for my wife. She's my number one. I like to say she's my number one cheerleader. Yes, ma'am.
Well, congratulations on all your success. How can our viewers learn about your company?
We are working on a web page, right now, but you will be able to find us at kbfoundationrepair.com. But where I'll send everybody to, Facebook is social media. That's just kind of where everybody goes to. So you can find me at KB Foundation Repair on Facebook. I have tons of video. There's tons of referrals, tons of information on there. I try to be real informative of what we do, because some folks will be like, foundation leveling, what is that? And so I put videos and try to educate. That's I don't consider myself a salesperson. I just like to educate folks on what we do, and then the job sells themselves.
So you not only do great work, but you also showcase it out there for those who are learning and taking on similar footsteps.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
well,
ma'am.
Congratulations on that. It's been a joy having you today. Congratulations on all of your success.
Thank you, Dory.
Thank you, and I hope you all find inspiration in this incredible story. We have a man here who has gone through different aspects in life and managed to be successful and show that the American dream is possible, coming from a family that came from Mexico all the way to his own growth. I hope you all find inspiration on that. Thank you for watching the Beautiful Day Un Día Bonito show. I am your host, Dorimar Bonilla. Welcome back to Beautiful Day Un Día Bonito. I am your host, Dorimar Bonilla, and today we have an icon in music, dubbed the Queen of Freestyle, an actress and popular New York DJ on WKTU. Please welcome to Beautiful Day Un Día Bonito, Judy Torres.
Hello, Dorimar. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
Good, very good.
Thank you for joining us today. It's such a pleasure to have you here. You are such an icon in music, and we're going to talk about your career in a brief moment, but I want to hear about your background, because I hear you have a little bit of Boricua in you.
Yes, of course. Well, I was born here, and my mother is Puerto Rican. My father is from Cuba. So I'm a Puerto Rican Cuban. I'm a Cuba Boricua.
Cuba Boricua. I like that. I like that. Well, the food is pretty much the same. So in
Pretty
your
much.
house, I'm sure everybody, there's no fights over what they're eating.
No, we all love it. We all love it.
And as I mentioned before, you're such an icon in the music industry. And as a breakout artist with hits like Come Into My Arms and No Reason to Cry, you inspired a generation of freestyle followers that they still follow you through today.
Yeah.
How did it feel to be so young, to be a woman and a Latina, and to make such an impact in the music industry?
Well, it felt very exciting and very humbling because, you know, when you're young, you're 17, you have a dream to be a singer, and then all of a sudden your songs are on the radio. It's like, oh my God, it's a dream come true. And then to know that the people in your neighborhood look up to you because you're one of them, and they love to know that somebody succeeded. It's a great feeling and a blessing.
What are some of your musical influences?
You know, it's funny. My musical influences are the big crooners from back in the day. So I love Judy
Interesting.
Garland. I love Liza Minnelli. I love, you know, the Rat Pack. I like that kind of music. And I love that those entertainers always told stories before they sang the songs.
Yes.
So for me, that's important because they connect with the audience. And that's how I get to connect with the audience too.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that style of music as well. It's timeless. And you also had a very extensive gig at WKTU in New York in the radio station. What is it about radio that you love?
I think the thing that I share with entertaining and being on the radio is connecting with people. And in music, you know, music is the universal language. Yes. People can disagree about politics, they can disagree about religion, but the second everyone likes one song, all of a sudden people are united. So to be on the radio, in addition to that, is another way to connect, you know?
Yes. Tell me one of your most memorable moments in radio.
My first day on the air, I was really nervous. We have about 5 million listeners, and I did my first break, 103.5 KTU, the beat of New York, and I accidentally left the microphone on. And so I had stuttered because I was so nervous. I messed up. And I said, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I'm so stupid. Oh God. And all of a sudden I looked down on the hot mic, and I looked down and all the phone lines are lit. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Hello, KTU. They're like, your mic is still on. I'm like, oh my God. And then I turned the mic off. But it was great because so many people were supportive, and they called. They said, hey, it's okay. It's your first day. Don't worry about it.
Oh, wow.
And so all I can say is I'm so happy that I didn't curse and I didn't say anything inappropriate.
But you also learned quickly after your first day, I'm sure.
I mean, it happened to me a couple of Sundays because of the pandemic. You know, we're doing it from home now. And I did it again. I left the mic on. Oops. And I happened to be speaking to somebody about social media drama. And I didn't find out till the next morning. But again, thank God I don't say anything inappropriate. So.
Well, you know, you're a lady, so that works out in
Thank
your
God.
benefit. And you're also an actress,
yes.
Inventing yourself and your career and selling out performances in New York with your one-woman show, No Reason to Cry.
Yeah.
How did it feel when you started to sell tickets for that? Because I know that, you know, when you switch within the industry into a new outlet, it can be a little nerve-wracking and you're exploring something new.
Yeah, it was probably the most terrifying thing I ever did in my career because I was turning 50. And really, I just did it because I wanted to be able to say that I did something in my career I never did before. So I wrote the show, and then it was supposed to be just one weekend. So we promoted it on social media, nothing else on social media, and within 45 minutes it sold out. And I just couldn't believe it. And then the next thing I know, the theater called and said, can you do another weekend? We did another weekend, and it turned into another until like 4 months. And it was just the greatest experience of my career.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that taught me, that specific show taught me that the thing that you're afraid of is the thing you need to go after.
I love it. It's amazing. And what was the inspiration behind that show?
Well, like I said, I think it was the fact that I wanted to do something different. And I had seen all of John Leguizamo's one-man shows, and I just thought, you know, it'd be great if a woman could do that. And so he kind of inspired me with that. And I think that was the inspiration, just to try something completely different, something that I'm uncomfortable with. And it worked out really great.
Well, good. That's so good to find also another Latino who is doing great things in the industry and find inspiration behind what he's doing, and have it as an influence is also a great thing to have. And I also learned recently that you are a life coach. What is exactly life coaching?
I think that nobody makes it successful by themselves. We all need somebody behind us. We all
Yes.
need someone to direct us, to mentor us. And I think that's basically what life coaching is. It's similar to therapy in the confidentiality is the same, but at the same time, you're able to guide and direct and talk to and share stories with. And you basically, I'm a cheerleader, I'm a mentor, I'm a goal-getter, and I help set specific goals so you can achieve the goals you want.
What is next for you?
Well, we were getting ready to bring back the one-woman show, so I hope that we get to bring it back. Because of the pandemic, right now everything is up in the air. So in the meantime, I continue with the life coaching, and I'm also writing a book called No Reason to Cry.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And where can people learn more about you and about your life coaching?
Okay. Well, social media is at Judy Torres Music, and for life coaching, it's judytorreslifecoach.com.
Judy, it's been such a pleasure having you with us today. Thank you for joining us.